So hello and welcome to this Python course. Today we'll be learning about another sequence of values, which is a tuple. Our last lesson we learned about lists. So welcome. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, so that you don't miss any more of my content. So let's go. So what is a tuple? First of all, a tuple is a data structure, just like the list, which we learned about in our last lesson, which is used to hold multiple values. These values may or may not be of the same type or of the same data type. So how do we create a tuple? So a tuple, as you say, is a sequence of items separated by commas. These items are enclosed within parentheses or brackets, curved brackets. So a variable can be used to store a tuple. So first of all, we write a variable, let's say tuple1, then is equals to, as long as you have done this is already a tuple. Sorry, we need to, let's say, write 1. So this is already a tuple. So, or you can write tuple1 is equals to, tuple, just like that. That will be our tuple. But that's if you don't know the values which will be entered in your tuple, you can use that. But in our case, we know the values, and this is just a simple introduction to Python, so I won't be going into those extra information. So right now we know the values. So we type a tuple, you only need the curved brackets, then the tuples hold any type of data. So 2 6 3 6 7 3 6 7 hello, then true. I'm not. Yeah. So tuple said any type of data. So you can. This is a simple tuple. I will really advise, if you are using tuples, please use it with a specific type of data for your own convenience. So I'm going to delete these two, and I'm going to write, let's say, 8 and 32, like that. So that's our tuple. Unlike lists, tuples are immutable. Lists are mutable, meaning you can change data in lists, but tuples are immutable. You cannot change data in lists, in tuples, unless you convert them into lists. So we'll learn about them in a short while. So how do you access data in tuples? So items in the tuple are accessed using their index numbers, just like in lists. To access an item in the tuple, we write the name of the tuple followed by the index of the item we want to access inside the square brackets, just like lists. So let's say I want to print tuple at index 2. So at index 2 we have 7. So let's print that. Let's run this. You can see 7. That's like 0 1 2 7. That's how you access data in a tuple. You can also access multiple subsequent items in a tuple the same way we do in lists. To do so, we use a starting index followed by a colon, then the index of the item which you want to access. So we can also use slicing. Let's say from index 1 to index 4. So when you run this, so it brings from index 1 we have 6, then 7, then index 4 minus 1 have this, which is 8. So we have seen 6 7 8. Then to access items, you can do what we did in lists. So unlike lists, tuples are immutable. Immutable meaning items in the tuple cannot be updated or deleted. There is no updating or deleting items in tuple, but you can delete the entire tuple. So you just write so you can delete using the delete keyword, delete tuple 1. So when we write this, you can see tuple 1 is not defined. Did you mean tuple? So there is no tuple 1, so it brings an error. So that's how you can delete. If you want to update, so I'm going to, you can see if I remove that, the tuple remains. You cannot delete, you cannot print an empty tuple. Unlike list, you can return an empty list, but you cannot return an empty tuple. It will bring an error. So as you have seen, I just deleted, and when I run this code, you can see I have an error. Name error, name 1, tuple 1 is not defined. Did you mean tuple? Because this tuple was deleted, so it's not defined anymore. So let's go to how we can update data in tuples. So to update data in tuples, you have to first change it into a list. So let's say list 1 is equals to list, then we tuple 1. And so when we print this list 1, I'm going to just use the same variable name, the same list name. So tuple 1 is equals to list tuple 1. So I'm going to change this, now print tuple 1. So when we print this, you can see it has changed from a list, from a tuple to a list. Now you can use the list methods to update, delete, insert, append. Then after you have done that, let's say, let me give you an example. Then let's say tuple 1 dot append 67. Then when we print this, let me just copy this code down here. When we run this, you can see it has added 67 to the end. Then to change it back to a tuple, we just use the same. So let's say tuple 1 is equals to tuple 1. Then, and when we print tuple 1, you can see it's back to a tuple. So that's how you can change it to a list. Then you can change it to a list so that it becomes immutable. It becomes mutable, and you can add all those data you want to add. Then you can change it back to a tuple as you have just seen, as I have done. So that's it for now. Please join me in my next lesson, which will be about dictionaries.